Field for tonight's first race coming out on the track and parading to the post behind Parade Marshal Kathy McDonald. Number 1, Hilda Highlight, owned by the Highlight Stable. Ron Ridenauer, Brian Brown, and Bob Runzer, driven by Mike Wilder. Number 2 is Lifelike, owned by Peter Gulazian, Barry Guariglia, and Patrick Kenny with Jeff Out. 3 is Mountain Range, owned by Robert Guthrie with Jody Essig. 4, Abe's Delight, owned by ACA Stable and Jim Daly. 5, Siren Serena, owned by Wilma Steyer, and a late driver change to Bill Long Jr. 6, Shooby Doo A Day, owned by the Kentuckiana Racing Stable with David Miller. 7 is Noble Possession, owned by Shakiri A. Patel, Dean Collins. Number 8, I Can Love You Like That, owned by Barry Ingram with Greg Brumbaugh. 9, Cherish the Thought, owned by Delbert and Terry Newman. Dave Hawk will be in the sulky. Trophy by the Limited, Bill Long driving 5, Siren Serena. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Mountain Range between horses takes the lead. Hilda Highlight was off stride along the rail, and there goes Shooby Doo A Day, driving up on the far outside to get the lead. Shooby Doo A Day there, 3 parts of a length. Mountain Range along the rail, second, followed by Lifelike into third. Abe's Delight fourth. Siren Serena parked and driving from the outside to fifth. After that, it's Noble Possession, who moves in to be sixth as they race by. The opening quarter-mile pole, Shooby Doo A Day and Siren Serena about a length back in second. Opening panel, 29 and 3, past the stands. Mountain Range is into third. Next in line, Lifelike is fourth. 2 more, Abe's Delight fifth. Noble Possession is sixth. Racing past the stands in seventh is I Can Love You Like That. 2 more to Hilda Highlight, and Cherish the Thought rides the tailgate around the clubhouse turn. Second bid for command, Shooby Doo A Day on the outside now gets the lead. Back in the second, Siren Serena. Mountain Range is third. Lifelike is fourth, followed by Abe's Delight in fifth. Here's Noble Possession charging up on the outside. Hilda Highlight catches the train down the back stretch. Starting up on the outside, Cherish the Thought and I Can Love You Like That is the trailer as they race by the half-mile pole in a minute flat. Head to 3/4. Shooby Doo A Day by a length. Mountain Range, the attacker, second. Along the rail, third, Siren Serena, moving by 3/4 in 1:30-1. Around the far turn, Shooby Doo A Day opens up 2 lengths. Mountain Range picks up the chase second. Noble Possession drives up on the outside. Third as the field straightens away. Shooby Doo A Day leads by 2. Mountain Range off the rail second, followed by Noble Possession along the rail third. Shooby Doo A Day. Mountain Range still closing in. 2 wide here, and Shooby Doo A Day holds on. Number 6, Shooby Doo A Day. 2-year-old bay filly by the up-and-coming sire Life Sign out of Blue Horizon. Owned in Lexington by Kentuckiana Racing Stable. Trained by Alan Riga. Driven tonight by David Miller to a hard-earned victory here in 1:59-2 to establish a lifetime best. Number 6, Shooby Doo A Day, the winner. 6-3 exact, the $9.60. $9.60. Trifecta 75.60, 75.60. Tonight's first race, Trophy, sponsored by the Limited Incorporated. Windows are now up and on tonight's second race. Scratch number 9, Hills Sassy Sis. Post time 7:53. Sponsored by the Limited. Hilda Highlight was 5th. Lifelike was 4th. Mountain Range finished 2nd. As 1:59. Comes the field of trotters for tonight's second race as they pray to the post. Second race tonight sponsored by Dominion Homes Incorporated. Second half of the daily double exact and trifecta wagering number 1 Crown Jeweler. Owned by Harold Breedenbach, driven by Harold Dick. Number 2 is Past the Ammo, owned by Melody Ross with Jeff Fout. 3 is Action Academy, owned by Home Stock Farm with Mike Wilder. 4, Powerline Sam, owned by Brent Davis. Dave Hawk will be aboard. 5 is Carry the Ribs, owned by Tom and Ted Gregory with Jody Essig. 6, Lucky Joss, owned by James Pageant, Patrick Sibler, and Donald Ray Breeze and Frank Todd Jr. Number 7 is Town Road, owned by Frank Reichard, driven by Ryan Holton. 8 is Wild Louie, owned by John Hellman with David Miller. 9, Hill, Sassy, Sis, Scratch. 10, Gin Queen, owned by Max Graber and Ray Creekmore. Russell Schwartz will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time. This race sponsored by the field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Powerline Sam between horses takes the lead. The 6, Lucky Josh, is off stride. They're down the backstretch. Powerline Sam and Wild Louie sweeping up on the outside. Toward the rail, Town Road moves in to be third. After that, Crown Jeweler fourth. Past the Ammo in fifth. Action Academy 6. Carry the Ribs is seventh. Gin Queen is eighth up on the outside. Lucky Josh back down trotting 20 from the front. And the front right now belongs in 27 and 3 to Powerline Sam. Powerline Sam cuts this one out. Wild Louie on his heels in second. Past the stands, Town Road is in the third. Crown Jeweler fourth. Next in line comes Past the Ammo in fifth. Action Academy 6. Carry the Ribs in seventh. Gin Queen is eighth. Followed up on the outside by Lucky Josh in ninth. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Powerline Sam cuts this one out. Powerline Sam on top by 2. Wild Louie is in the second. Crown Jeweler getting the 24-carat trip comes to the outside. They're at the half in 59. They're down the backstretch. Powerline Sam trying out the short circuit tonight on the front end, leads by 2. Wild Louie second. Crown Jeweler third. Next in line, Town Road fourth. Past the Ammo trotting 3 wide to the far outside fifth. Gin Queen is next. Action Academy along the rail. Lucky Josh is up on the outside. Carry the Ribs will close in his spare time. Trotting by 3/4 in a sharp 1:29 and 2. Moving around the far turn. Powerline Sam continues to lead the way. Wild Louie second. Crown Jeweler is third. Field straightens away. Powerline Sam trotting clear. Powerline Sam, Wild Louie passing lane. Crown Jeweler, here's Gin Queen. Closing up on the far outside. Powerline Sam is all done. Crown Jeweler now gets the lead with Wild Louie. Crown Jeweler coming on. Powerline Sam was fourth. Here comes the unofficial winner, number 1, Crown Jeweler, 7-year-old bay horse by Christus Crown out of Limatown. Owned in Lima, Ohio by Harold Breedenbach. Driven and trained by Harold Dick. Covering that mile in 2 minutes and 2/5. Number 1, Crown Jeweler, the unofficial winner of tonight's second race. We would like to welcome our friends from Dominion Homes Incorporated, who present a nice trophy to the connections of Crown Jeweler. Second race trophy by Dominion Homes Incorporated. Result of race 2 now official. Windows are open on the third. No changes in tonight's superfecta. No changes in the third. 1-8 exacta, 438.60, 438.60. Trifecta 66.37 even. 6-1 daily double, $34. 6-1 daily double, $34. Here comes the field for tonight's third race. Trophy by Savco and Sons Incorporated. Number 1, Racing Jesse B, owned by Jim Plummer, driven by Bill Long Jr. 2, Sister Jude, owned by Jack Cool with Ryan Holton. 3, Salix Capria, owned by Michael Aldrich with Darren Mauser. 4, True Image, owned by Dana Ross. Jeff Fout will bring her out. Number 5 is Double AC, owned by Richard Stevens and Sal Nacera with Mike Wilder. 6, PMSN, owned by James Ashman and George Howery with Jack Daly. 7 is MI Slick, owned by Donald Goodyear and Dave Hawk. 8, Sense of Direction, owned by John LeGros with Jody Essig. Number 9 is Barclays Beauty, owned by Ellis Lakes with John L. Barnes. 10, Sunshine Annie, owned by Jim Arledge and John Rhodes. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field for the third, Trophy by Savco and Sons. And there they go. They're off and pacing. PMSN between horses takes the lead. True Image along the rail. There goes Barclays Beauty up on the far outside. They're down the backstretch. Racing Jesse B moves in to be fourth. Up on the outside, Salix Capria to fifth. From out of the second tier, Sunshine Annie sixth. Double AC is seventh. Sister Jude is eighth. Ninth up on the outside, MI Slick in Sense of Direction rides the tailgate, 29 flat. Superfecta fillies and mares in parade, driving past the stands. Out on top by an easy length and a half and make it to PMSN. Long Mile Barclays Beauty in the second, followed by True Image in third. Next in line, Racing Jesse B fourth. Salix Capria comes to the outside fifth. Around the clubhouse turn, here's MI Slick driving up on the outside. Sunshine and he got caught along the rail. After that comes Double AC. Sense of Direction rolls from the back of the pack and the two trails. Hey, Sister Jude. In a minute flat, they're down the backstretch. Bouncing right along by a half a length, it's PMSN. Right alongside Barclays Beauty. The big mile is in the second. Salix Capria third. True Image looks to close from fourth. After that, Racing Jesse B up on the far outside. MI Slick. Sense of Direction will have to go wide on the backstretch. Sunshine Annie is eighth, followed by Double AC in ninth. 10th and last at Sister Jude in 129 and 2. Quite a log jam in here as the field moves to the head of the stretch. PMSN, no mid-race crisis for her tonight. Off the rail, here comes True Image to second. Driving up on the far outside, third is A straighten away. Racing Jesse B. Racing Jesse B. PMSN closing back on the rail. Racing Jesse B. 1-5 favorite gets up. Result of the third now official. Here's the winner, number 1, Racing Jesse B. 3-year-old bay filly by Proud Truth out of Circleton Joanne. Out in Jackson, Ohio by John Plummer, trained by Rick Hartman. Given a confident drive tonight by Bill Long, Jr. Covering that mount a lifetime best, 159 and 3. 1 Racing Jesse B in a lifetime best. Tonight's third race trophy by Savco and Sons Incorporated. The 1/6 exacta $38.40. The Super 8/20/80. Windows are now open on race 4. Trophy by R.D. Zand and Associates. No changes in the fourth. The only other change in the program, race 5, scratch number 5, the competitor. Race 5, number 5, the competitor has been scratched. There's the Caddy, owned by William and Juanita Dunham, driven by Jody Essig. 2, Caviar Carlin, owned by Judith and Clarence Chafee Jr. with David Miller. 3, Look Sinja, owned by Jack Swagler and Arthur Apking, Rainsman Kevin Brown. 4, Carousel Rhythm, owned by George and Robert Young with David Hawk aboard. 5, Pay Direct, owned by Robert E. Henry with Justin Hall. 6 is Delayed, owned by Ronald Barker, Rainsman Sean Barker. 7, Tins Nipper, owned by Paul Wade with Debbie Rucker. 8, White Creek Sam, owned by the White Creek Stable. Jeff Fout will be in the sulky. Trophy by R.D. Zandy and Associates. 6 minutes till post time. Happy birthday to Sonny. Field has taken that final turn. Starting gate is underway. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Look Sinjin, Carousel Rhythm, already ensuring a lively pace. Hook up on the outside, down the backstretch. 7, Tins Nipper is off stride. They move to the far turn. Carousel Rhythm driving wide and hard, gets the lead. Looks Sinja moves in to be second. Caviar Carolyn is now third around the top turn. Where's the caddy fourth? 2 more lengths into Pay Direct. After that comes White Creek Sam, delayed and far back after the costly break. Tins Nipper moving by the opening quarter. 29 flat. They're in parade past the stands to the half-mile pole. 6 are lengths apart. Carousel Rhythm for the Hawkman leads by an easy length. Stalking in second, Looks Sinja. Caviar Carolyn third. Where's the caddy skimming the pylons in fourth? Pay Direct in fifth. White Creek Sam to the outside. Around the clubhouse turn, delayed and trying to get back into it. Tins Nipper. Around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Bouncing right along, Carousel Rhythm leaves us merry-go-round past the half in a minute and 4/5. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Trying to make every pole opening one. Carousel Rhythm. Looks Sinja in second. White Creek Sam grinding uncovered to third. Caviar Carolyn's got some kick. In fact, she's doubled up right now looking for racing room. Where's the caddy has nowhere to go. On the far outside, Pay Direct, delayed and Tins Nipper. Racing by 3/4. Carousel Rhythm continues to lead the way in 1:31 and 2. Around the far turn. Carousel Rhythm by a length. Looks Sinja is second. Caviar Carolyn on the outside third. Off the turn in the stretch. They're on their way home. Carousel Rhythm has got the lead. Looks Sinja's up on the outside. Caviar Carolyn closing down the middle of the racetrack. It's Carousel Rhythm. Looks Sinja still attacking on the outside. Carousel Rhythm, wire to wire. Here's the unofficial winner, number 4, Carousel Rhythm. It's now official. 3-year-old bay filly by Abercrombie out of Gusty Music. Owned by George Young Jr. and Robert Young of Bridgeport. Trained by Robert Young. Driven wire to wire by Dave Hawk to a lifetime best of 2 minutes and 4/5. Number 4, Carousel Rhythm, the winner. The 4-3 exacta $37.40. Windows are now up and on tonight's 5th race. Scratch number 5, the competitor. Scratch the 5-6. Little over 3,500 in tonight's twin trifecta carryover. Post time at 8:53. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the mile was 2 minutes and 4/5. The carryover number 1, Lenda Penny, owned by Mark Deaton, Raymond and Robert Straw with Elliot Deaton. 2 is Pay Thee, owned by Robert Henry and Justin Hall. 3, Soul Brother, owned by Tom Cummins, Sam and Dave, James Brown and Marvin Gaye with Jeff Fout. 4 is Noble Town, owned by Earl Ader, Ron Fuster, Pat McAllister, and Benny Holler with Dan Ader aboard. 5, the competitor, scratched 6. 6, Delusion of Grandeur, owned by Gerald Diane and Jeff Cimini and Robert Salzberger with Terry R. Thomas. 7, Barron's Carrier, owned by Sarah Rader with Jack Daly. 8, Enchanted Mirage, owned by Enchanted Willow Farms and Rosa Miller with David Miller. Number 9 is Beeler Hanover, owned by Charles Green and Bob Harper. 10, Governor Sammy, owned by Charlie Dillender. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Scratch number 5, the competitor, 6, 5 minutes till post time. Ocean. And there they go. They're off and pacing from the far outside. Barron's Carrier takes the lead. Moving out from between horses, Soul Brother second and Lenda Penny along the rail third. Late Lever flying on the far outside. Beeler Hanover to fourth. Driving up on the outside at Shannon Mirage to fifth. Pay Thee is next out of the second tier. Governor, Sammy, Noble, Town, and Delusion of Grandeur. As 3 horses are now across the track, vying for command. Rolling by the opening quarter in a good 28 seconds flat. From the outside, Beeler Hanover now gets the lead. Beeler Hanover on top. Barron's Carrier is stinging him pretty good. Welcome to Columbus. Clipper hardball in here. This is a total mission as they wheel around the paddock turn. Barron's Carrier absolutely destroyed Beeler Hanover as they hit the half-mile pole. Soul Brother is into third. Moving up on the outside, Lenda Penny, he tips and rolls, and that makes sense. They're at the half in 56 and 2. Sparks are flying from the seat, the wheel, disc, and everything else that's metal now as they straighten out down the backstretch. Barron's Carrier on top. Lenda Penny drives up on the outside. Soul Brother coming on between horses. Enchanted Mirage on the overland route to 4th. Beeler Hanover dropping back to 5th. Governor Sammy closing stoutly in the center. Nobletown is up on the outside. Delusion of Grandeur will be 5 wide in just a second, and the trailer is Pay Thee, 126. Around the far turn, trying to last, it's Lend a Penny. Lend a Penny, Soul Brother is next. Nobletown is up on the outside and racing way on the extreme outside to High Street. Delusion of Grandeur racing through the stretch. Delusion of Grandeur on the far outside now blows into command. Delusion of Grandeur, Soul Brother coming on second. Going to be tight for third, maybe the 8 Enchanted Mirage. And tight photograph between 3 horses for the Scioto. Eight Enchanted Mirage was third. Number 4, Nobletown was fourth. Here comes the unofficial winner of race number 5, 6 Delusion of Grandeur. 4-year-old brown gelding by Dignitarian of Happy to Be. Bred in California by the owners, Gerald, Jeff, and Diana Cimini. And Robert Salzberger of Illinois. Driven and trained by Terry R. Thomas to a lifetime best from last to first, 157-1. Number 6, Delusion of Grandeur, the unofficial winner of tonight's 5th race. Tonight's 5th race, trophy by the members of the Columbus Board of Realtors. Number 1, T-Tars Prime Time, owned by George Feltner with Don Feaster to copy the message. Owned by Ernie Evans, and the reins of it is going to be Jim Daly for Jakes. Make that 3 Jakes cash. Owned and driven by Al Gobble. 4 Grand Debonair, owned by Jerry Grant. Mike Wilder will be aboard. 5 is next, Word of Prayer, owned by Barbara Stultz. Al Denton with Dave Hawk in the bike. Here's Brett Merkel in 6 Tug Button for owner Dick and Donna Wills. 7 Crown Time Patriot, owned by Esther Crownover with David Miller. 8 is Oaklawn Carrot, owned and driven by Jeff Dennis. 9 JMC, owned by Ruth Carroll. Dan Ader will be aboard. 10 Super High Power, owned by Mike Saylor. Bob Harper will be in the sulky. Trotters for the 6th, trophy by Levesque Enterprises. No changes on the balance of tonight's 10 race card. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Got a couple breakers. 2 and 10 are off stride. Copy the message and Super High Power. Speeding to command from between horses. Jake's Cash. Rallying up on the outside. Word of Prayer to second, and T-Tars Prime Time will sit the pocket in third. Grand Debonair away nicely to 4th. After that comes Tug Button, followed by the favorite Crown Time Patriot 6th. Next in line comes Oaklawn Carrot in 7th. There by the opening quarter, JMC is 8th, and the breakers as they trot by the opening quarter in 28-3. First to settle in stride past the stands. Copy the message. 9th Super High Power is 10th. Under the finish line the first time, and Jake's Cash for Al Gobble, bouncing along with a length and a half advantage. Here comes the outer tier, led by Tug Button and Crown Time Patriot. Rallying around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole. Jake's Cash trying to get the cash in the front end, continues to lead. Passing a half in 59-3 up the backstretch. Jake's Cash by 2. Word of Prayer is in the second, moving up on the outside. Tug Button to third. T-Tars Prime Time 4th. Crown Time Patriot gets the Barney Fife and Drum Journey to 5th. Down the backstretch, Grand Debonair up on the outside. Oaklawn Carrot, JMC. Trailers are still at the back of the pack. Copy the message in super high power. But it's still Al Gobble and Jake's Cash who lead in 128-4. Trotting around the far turn. Jake's Cash continues to lead the way. Word of Prayer to the stalker in second. Tug Button can't go on third. Crown Time Patriot moves to the far outside with about 5 to make up. They're into the stretch. Jake's Cash, Crown Time Patriot explodes out of mid-pack and is coming 100 on the far outside. Crown Time Patriot under the whip is going to get it. Patriot. 6-year-old Brown Gelding by Scimitar out of Crown Time Bell. Ona MacArthur by Esther Crownover, trained by Earl Owings, giving a heart-stopping drive tonight by David Miller. Covering that mountain 158-4, 7 Crown Time Patriot, unofficial winner of the 6th. Double tonight for Dave Miller, having already won the first tonight with Shuby Duade. Tonight's 6th race, trophy by Levesque Enterprises. No changes on the balance of the program. '60 next post 936. No changes on the balance of the program. One Warplane owned by Doug Parker and Harry Berger. Darren Mauser drives. 2 Payne Road Scooter owned by Mary Dillon, driven by Don Feaster. 3 Toss the Coin owned by Tom and Michael Colvin with Randy Tharps. 4 Telepoose owned by Donald Robinson, Mike Wilder aboard. 5 Pressure owned by Max Taubert and driver Ron Taubert, who will be in the bike. 6 Pleasing Kip owned by Dolly Hessler and Bob Harper. 7 is Edat Sammys owned by Richard Slaughter with David Miller. 8 is AP King owned by Arthur Apking with Kevin Brown. 9 Cinder Scoot owned by Delbert and Kerry Newman and driver Dave Hawk. 10 is Austin K, owned by Charlie Conrad and Jermaine Benton. Jack Daly will be in the sulky. Field for the 7th race, trophy by Rural Metro Ambulance Company with 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Toss the Coin takes the lead. Tallapoosa between horses. Warplane on the rail. Edat Sammys is up on the outside. They're down the backstretch. Pleasing Kip is next on the far outside. Cinder Scoot widest of all. Austin K, Payne Road Scooter shuffled back to 8th. Couldn't use the deuce at all. Followed by Pressure and at the end, AP King. Pretty good slugfest in here. 4 horses are across the track vying for command. 27-4. Look for the closers now. From the outside, Cinder Scoot is brushed to the top. Cinder Scoot on top. Tallapoosa is racing second. Going to be a long mile for Pleasing Kip to third. Saving ground, Edat Sammys fourth. Toss the Coin is fifth. Here comes Austin K up on the outside. Toward the rail, Warplane. Payne Road Scooter is into the flow. After that comes Pressure and AP King. They're at the half in a crisp 56-1. Straightening out down the backstretch. Cinder Scoot continues to lead the way. Tallapoosa is second. Followed by Edat Sammys in third. Toss the Coin fourth, Austin K. Payne Road Scooter on the far outside. Warplane, Pleasing Kip is dropped back. Pressure is ninth on the outside. 10th and last, AP King. Cinder Scoot gets away on the front end and opens up 5 in 1, 25-2. Around the far turn, Cinder Scoot with a commanding lead. Toss the Coin is next. Driving up on the outside, Edat Sammys to third. Next in line along the rail, Tallapoosa and Payne Road Scooter. They're into the stretch. Cinder Scoot is getting a little leg weary. Toss the Coin on the outside. Passing lane, Edat Sammys. Ding-dong battle going here. Toss the Coin will try to reach. Toss the Coin reaches. Close between Edat Sammys and Cinder Scoot. Scoot third and 2, Payne Road Scooter fourth. In the winner's circle is Toss the Coin, a bay 4-year-old horse by Tucson Henner out of Have Fun. Owned by Tom and Michael Colvin of Columbus and Westerville, trained by Chad Norman. Hard driven tonight by Randy Tharps, covering the mile here in 156-2 and a lifetime best. Number 3, Toss the Coin, the winner of tonight's 7th race. 3-7 exacta, $230 even. The try, 32.77 and change. The twin try carryover until Friday's 4,900 plus. The try, 32.77.80. Trophy by Huntington National Bank. Number 1, Star Colt, owned by Bill Crothers, driven by Dave Hawk. 2, Southern Image, owned by Roy Murphy and Jeff Fout. 3, Rick and Dick, owned by Rhonda Stidham and Linda May with Rocky Stidham. Number 4 is JB's L. Sid, leased by Ron Barker, Justin Hollaboard. 5, If Only I Could, owned by Sam Coben and Jody Essig. 6, Noble Design, owned by Tim Humrick and Tanya Ledford with Mike Wilder. 7 is the Rob Report, leased by Robert Pryor with Randy Tharps. Number 8 is Lake Hills Mike, owned by Steve Bowder, Darrell Whitaker aboard. 5, Come On BJ, owned by John Perrin with Jack Daly. 10, Ram Spirit, owned by Elaine Bray. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field for the 8th, trophy by the Huntington National Bank with 5 minutes till post. There they go. They're off and pacing. Noble Design on the far outside, right alongside If Only I Could. There goes Rick and Dick and Southern Image along the rail. Late leader on the far outside, Lake Hills Mike. He'll go a tough one in here as they make their way to the first turn. Rob Report, followed by the Lazy Horse to the rail, Star Colt. Out of the second tier, Ram Spirit. On the turn, JV's L. Sid. And the trailers Come On BJ as they move to the quarter-mile pole and they're flying up top. Noble Design Waxis went out in a quick 27-2 past the stands. Mike Wilder's out on top with Noble Design. They'll lead as far as they can. Noble Design a length, If Only I Could. The Golden Journey in second. Rick and Dick third. Star Colt comes to the outside and Southern Image rolls before him. 10, Ram Spirit also comes to the outside. Around the paddock turn to the half-mile pole. Noble Design a length and a half. If Only I Could second. Jeff Fout brings him out with Southern Image to third. Rick and Dick's giving the pylons in fourth. Rob Report is next. Star Colt live cover catching the train, Ram Spirit. Down the backstretch, Lake Hills by JB's El Saeed. And Come On BJ in 58 off the 5/8. Moving to 3/4, Noble Design continues to lead the way. Star Colt moves to the far outside. Pacing back in the pylons in the pocket, If Only I Could. Moving by 3/4 in, 127-2. Driving around the far turn. Trying to get away on the front end, Noble Design. Backing up, Southern Image. This may cost the 10 a few lengths as the 10 can't get out. Off the turn, in the stretch, they're on their way home. Mike Wilder draws the sword and now has the lead by 2. Here comes If Only I Could up on the outside. Rob Report quickly closing on the pylons. Noble Design, Rob Report, and Rick and Dick. Noble Design, wire to wire. A 4-year-old bay gelding by Noble and Sam out of Fashions by Neville. Owned by Tim Humrick and Tanya Ledford of Miamisburg, Ohio, and Beecher, Illinois. Trained by Selden Ledford, driven wire to wire by Mike Wilder. Covering that mile here in 157, number 6, Noble Design, the winner of tonight's 8th race. Windows are open on race 9. Featured trot of the week for the older guys. Trophy by Worthington Industries. 10th and final will be the Superfecta. Once again in the winner's circle, Noble Design and our friends from the Huntington National Bank who present the trophy for tonight's 8th race. Craig Walters, contact the winner's circle, please. Exacta 4:57.40. Field for the 9th, featured trot of the week for the older guys. Number 1, Hey, Just Say No. Owned by Dick and Donna Wills, Brett Merkel drives. 2, Sunny Speedster. Owned by Gary Cameron, Don Feaster. 3, Striker Action, owned by Homestock Farman, Dave Hawk. 4, Holly Hill Disco, owned by the Hatfield Stables with Bud Hatfield. Number 5, What a Message, owned by Glenn Brandon with Jody Essig. 6, Power Score, owned by Stephen McCoy, Hugh Beatty Jr. Sandy Beatty will be in the sulky. Trotters for the ninth. Trophy by Worthington Industries Incorporated. 6 minutes till post. Field for tonight's featured ninth race trot in behind starter John Betts. It is post time. Hey, Just Say No, Sunny Speedster, Striker Action, Holly Hill Disco, What a Message, and Power Score. Trophy by Worthington Industries, $10,000 invitational. They're moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Hey, Just Say No takes the lead. Holly Hill Disco up on the outside. Striker Action getting parked in third. Down the backstretch, Sunny Speedster fourth. Power Score on the outside, and What a Message. Quarter pole bound. Holly Hill Disco quickly grabs the racetrack, opens up about 4 lengths. Striker Action settles down into second, followed by the early trot setter, Hey, Just Say No. Second division from fourth back, Sunny Speedster, What a Message, and Power Score. 27-4 they open up. Speeding past the stands, Holly Hill Disco leads away for Trader Bud by 2. Stalker in second, that's Striker Action, followed by Hey, Just Say No in third. Around the clubhouse turn, Sunny Speedster fourth. What a Message will start the train from the back of the pack, and when he moves, so will Power Score. They're at the half. Holly Hill Disco continues to lead on a Donna Summer-like night in 57-3 up the backstretch. Holly Hill Disco a length and a half. Striker Action exits the 2-hole. Sunny Speedster trots on the outside third. Hey, Just Say No fourth. What a Message starts up on the outside. Back of the pack, Power Score. Off the 5/8, moving to 3/4. Leader by a half a length is Holly Hill Disco. Closing with every stride. Striker Action now looks him right in the eye in 126-4. Around the far turn. Striker Action now gets the lead. He sticks his nose, his head, his neck in front, but can he clear? Striker Action on top. Holly Hill Disco digs down deep. Sunny Speedster is in the center. Power Score on the far outside. The Hawkman draws the whip, but here comes Sunny Speedster. Striker Action. Sunny Speedster, 2 wide here. Striker Action gets up. Official winner of tonight's 9th race, 3 Striker Action, a 6-year-old bay gelding by Speed and Action out of Sunny Terra. On to Millersburg by Home Stock Farm, trained by Richard Wagers. Given a well-judged drive tonight by Dave Hawk to a lifetime best of 156-4. Number 3, Striker Action, the winner. 3-2 exacta, $33 even. The trifecta, $115.60. Top down in the 9th. Hey, Just Say No fourth. Sunny Speedster was second. Striker Action, the winner. Holly Hill Disco 6th. What a Message third. Power Score was 5th. 4-2-1-6-3-5 in the winner's circle. Striker Action and our friend from Worthington Industries Incorporated with a nice trophy presentation. Number 1 is Terrasol. Owned by Constance Messler, Ron Powell drives. 2 Bonjour, owned by Bill Crothers with David Miller. 3 Sacrospur, owned by Merle Moore with Dave Hawk. 4 Hot Hornet, owned by Gene Roberts. Mike Wilder will be aboard. 5 is High Albus, owned by Larry Fullen with Don Feaster. 6 Around Town, owned by Bob Perry and Jody Essig. 7 is Classic Cavalier, owned by Frank Palmer and Dan Ader. Number 8 is Blasted, owned and driven by Ron Taubert. 9 Barnabas, owned by Ellen Honius with Darren Mauser. 10 Miracle Brian, owned by James Stiverson and Billy Toomey. Jeff Fout will bring this horse out of post position number 10. Superfect and Exacta, 6 minutes till post. Is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Bonjour takes the lead. Hot Hornet up on the outside and Terrasol along the rail. They're down the backstretch. Sacrisburg gets away fourth out of the second tier. Miracle Brian to fifth. Followed by High Albus around town. Classic Cavalier Blasted and Barnabas wide to the outside. Seating arrangements are complete in a moderate first quarter, and Bonjour will lead the way by an easy length and a half. Hot Hornet tucked in there second. Terrasol third, 29-2. Superfect the Pacers in parade past the stands. Bonjour, 3 on a nickel favorite, cuts this one out. Bonjour leads the way. He'll try to make every polo when he won. Long shot, Hot Hornet is in there second, followed by Terrasol in third. Sacrisburg fourth. Miracle Brian stays in there fifth. Moving up on the outside, High Albus the sixth underway. Classic Cavalier to seventh as they move around the clubhouse turn. Around town is eighth. Blasted is ninth. Barnabas the tailgate in a minute and 4/5. Straightening out for their long journey down the backstretch. Bonjour leads by 2. Bonjour continues to show his heels to the field. Hot Hornet is in the second. Terrasol third. High Albus uncovered, grinding from the outside fourth. Sacrisburg is fifth. Classic Cavalier is up on the outside. Around town got out. Miracle Brian is eighth. Barnabas ninth on the outside. Blasted is now the trailer. Moving by 3/4. No excuses tonight for the odds-on favorite Bonjour. He stole 1 3/4 in 131-1. Around the far turn, Bonjour by 2. Mike Wilder puts the whip on Hot Hornet, yet to respond. Off the rail, Terrasol third. They're into the stretch. Bonjour rocks on top. Terrasol middle of the racetrack. Hot Hornet punchless in the pocket between horses. Sacrisburg. It's going to be Bonjour. Very tight between Sacrisburg, Terrasol, and Hot Hornet. Hot Hornet. It's a triple tonight for David Miller aboard 2. Bonjour coast to coast here in 2 minutes flat. Result is now official. Bonjour is a 6-year-old bay gelding by Good to See You out of Happy Chemist, owned and trained in Kenton, Ohio by Bill Crothers, driven wire to wire by David Miller, covering the mile in 2 minutes flat. Number 2, Bonjour, the winner. 3 out of 3 in the pick 3 on 6, 3, and 2, 159.20. Exact to $30.80. Super 489.40. Fourth. High Albus 7th, Around Town 8th, Classic Cavalier 9th, Blasted 6th. Barnabas 10, Miracle Brian 5th.